Before the Dance of the Dragons, House Targaryen stood at the height of its power, with 20 dragons at their command. Season 1 of House the Dragon introduced us to some of these magnificent beasts, but we have surely not been introduced to all of them. In this video, we'll do a quick recap of the dragons we have already seen extensively, and we will take a closer look at the dragons we will probably get to meet and see more of in Season 2. Welcome to the Boar and the Lion. Because we passed the magical number of 100 subscribers, I wanted to upload an extra video to thank you all for your support. If you like these kinds of videos, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot with creating future videos. And to everyone who is already subscribed, thank you very much for your support. When House of the Dragon was announced, one of the things Game of Thrones fans were most excited about was the prospect of seeing the multitude of dragons that were under Targaryen control. House Targaryen had never been more powerful than that very moment, right before its civil war, when dragons ruled the skies of Westeros. Season 1 of House the Dragon thoroughly introduced us to 7 of the Targaryen dragons. We've met Syrax, Rhaenyra Targaryen's yellow beast. Syrax is a female dragon, named after a Valyrian goddess. I'd like to point out here that sources differ concerning the gender of dragons. Sometimes dragons are blatantly called male or female. In other instances, dragons are said to be gender fluid, changing at will. For the purposes of this video, we will simply state their given gender. If the writers follow the book, we won't see much of Syrax in the upcoming season. Rhaenyra treated her she-dragon more as a pet than a dragon, and Rhaenyra is not one for partaking in the fights to win her crown. But I can see the show writers giving Rhaenyra some kind of heroic warrior queen arc for some reason, so who knows if we will see Syrax in battle. Caraxes and Vhagar will be the main powerhouses of the feuding sides in the civil war to come. Caraxes, the Bloodworm, is ridden by Daemon Targaryen. And I have to compliment the showrunners here, Caraxes is all that I ever imagined he would be. I expect we will see a lot more of him in Season 2, as the main fighting force of the Blacks. Vhagar, now ridden by Aemond Targaryen, is portrayed as a humongous iguana, quite different from how George R.R. Martin set him out to be. Instead of bronze, Vhagar is more of a green or grey color. The last surviving creature that witnessed Aegon's conquest of Westeros, the massive Vhagar is the strongest dragon fighting for the Greens. As is the case with Caraxes, expect to see a lot of Vhagar in the upcoming season. Vermax and Arax are 2 young dragons we meet in Season 1. Vermax is ridden by Jacaerys Velaryon. As the Dance of the Dragons has now truly begun, and Jacaerys being Rhaenyra's heir, expect to see Vermax a lot in Season 2. Arax is a young dragon belonging to Lucerys Velaryon. Arax and Luke are the first casualties of the Civil War, being killed by Vhagar and Aemond. This brings the number of living dragons at the start of Season 2 back to 19. The last 2 dragons we have already met in Season 1 are Meleys, the Red Queen, and Seasmoke. Meleys is ridden by Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was. Meleys is a scarlet she-dragon and one of the fastest dragons the Targaryens ever had. She is a formidable fighting force and will be seen in action in the upcoming season. Seasmoke, a grey-silver dragon, was ridden by Sir Laenor Velaryon before he disappeared. Seasmoke will most likely get a new rider in Season 2, although the fact that Laenor is still alive in House the Dragon, contrary to the book, makes for some problems. We will discuss those in a future video. Which leaves 13 dragons who have not been introduced to us properly. 15 in truth, but there are 2 dragons I definitely know we won't meet in Season 2. The first one is Morning, the pink she-dragon that would eventually hatch to Rhaena Targaryen. She wasn't born until later in the Dance of the Dragons, however. The second dragon we won't get to see is the unnamed Last Dragon. This green female dragon hatched and died sometime after the Dance of the Dragons when very young, and was the last living dragon until Daenerys brought him back into the world. Contrary to Daemon's assessment of the Blacks' fighting force of dragons in episode 10, there are a total of 11 adult dragons available to Rhaenyra's side, not 13. Moondancer, the young she-dragon belonging to Baela Targaryen, is far too young to partake in any fighting. The same goes for Tyrexis, whose rider is Joffrey Velaryon. We might get a glimpse of them in the upcoming season, but do not expect that they will play a major role. 2 more young dragons that will probably not play a part in Season 2 are Shrykos and Morgul. Shrykos is a young she-dragon belonging to Jaehaerys Targaryen, while Morgul is bound to his twin sister, Jaehaera. Because of the age of the heirs of King Aegon II and the age of their dragons, I do not expect to see them this season, although we might spot them for a scene or 2. The last dragon that is not of fighting age is the male Stormcloud. Bound to Rhaenyra's son, Aegon the Younger, Stormcloud might play quite a central part in Season 2, depending on how far they will take the story this season. He might not be able to fight, but expect to see this young dragon getting quite some screen time. Which leaves 11 dragons of fighting age available to Rhaenyra's side. 10, when we subtract the already slain Airrex. We've already met the 4 dragons that currently have riders, being Caraxes, Syrax, Meleys and Vermex. 6 dragons are currently living on Dragonstone without a rider bound to them. 3 of these have been ridden by Targaryens or Velaryons before. Vermithor is a huge bronze male dragon, the second largest of them all, after Vhagar. He used to be ridden by the old king, Jaehaerys. We have actually already met Vermithor, although he was not given a name at that moment. He is the dragon Daemon sings to in High Valyrian, when visiting the Dragonmont. Silverwing, as the name might suggest, is a silver she-dragon. She used to be ridden by Jaehaerys' wife, Queen Alysanne. As Jaehaerys and Alysanne loved each other very much, so did their dragons. Vermithor and Silverwing are known to be lifelong mates, which is the only occurrence of a lasting bond between dragons ever recorded. The last dragon that is currently not bound to anyone, but has been bound to a rider before, is Seasmoke. After the disappearance of Sir Laenor Velaryon, Seasmoke will need a new rider to be truly useful in the battles to come. On top of that, Dragonstone houses 3 wild dragons. These dragons have never been ridden before, but could be potential assets in the war to come, if anyone can master them. The biggest and oldest of these 3 is called the Cannibal. A dragon as black as coal, he is known to feast on other dragons and dragon eggs. The second wild dragon is called Sheepstealer. As the name might suggest, this dragon has a preference for mutton. Sheepstealer is a slender male dragon, who is colored mud brown. The last wild dragon is called Grey Ghost. Grey Ghost is a white grey dragon known for being shy. He likes to stay away from humans and other dragons as much as possible, and feeds himself mostly on fish. And those are the 6 dragons currently without a rider residing on Dragonstone. Although Rhaenyra's home base provides her with a clear numerical advantage in dragons, a dragon with a rider is vastly superior to a dragon without one. But where will she find men and women to ride them? We can't very well expect Rhaenyra to give birth 6 more times to bolster her army. Luckily for Rhaenyra, House Targaryen has always been quite promiscuous in their ways, and as a result of this, many lowborn children living on Dragonstone have a drop of Targaryen blood. The sowing of the seeds, as the search for the riders of these dragons is called, will be an important event in Season 2. And for that reason, I am quite sure that all 6 of these dragons will play a vital part in the upcoming season. Maybe Grey Ghost will elude us, but that is part of his character after all. The Greens have only 4 dragons of fighting size at their disposal, but one of these is the massive Vhagar, ridden by Aemond Targaryen. His sister Helaena rides Dreamfire, a slender she-dragon that is colored silver and blue. Similarly to Vermithor, we already met Dreamfire in Season 1, although her name was not given. She was the dragon that Aemon sees when he sneaks in the dungeons of the Dragon Pit. As is the case with Syrax, Dreamfire does not see any battle in the book, mainly due to her rider's mental disposition. Because of that, do not expect to see much more of her in Season 2. A new character that has yet to be introduced to us is Alicent's youngest son, Darren. I made a video about the true reason for his absence in Season 1, if you want to know more. Darren's dragon is Thessarian, also called the Blue Queen. Thessarian is a she-dragon, colored cobalt and copper, and is commonly regarded to be a very beautiful dragon. As Darren is expected to become a player in the Dance of the Dragons in Season 2, we can assume that we get to see Thessarian as well. The final dragon that we have not seen yet is, according to some sources, the most beautiful dragon that has ever lived in the known world. Sunfyre, also called Sunfyre the Golden, is a male dragon with golden scales and pale pink wings. I am not completely sure, but I think we get a glimpse of him from far away in episode 7 on Driftmark. His rider is King Aigner, second of his name. Sunfyre was sometimes also referred to as King Aigner's glory. Seeing Sunfyre on screen is probably the most exciting prospect of Season 2 for me personally. Although Season 1 has me worried if House the Dragon will do him justice. In the very first scene, Cyrex is described as that golden beast by Sir Harold Westerling. And I have to give it to him, Cyrex seemed much more gold than yellow, the color she is supposed to be. I'm curious how they are going to differentiate the two. Adding to that, in the very last episode of Season 1, when Otto arrives at Dragonstone to parley, the Black Council is informed that a ship flying a banner of a three-headed green dragon has been sighted. In reality, Aigner changed his personal banner during the war to a three-headed golden dragon, to honor Sunfyre. Let's not jump to conclusions, but these two facts make me hesitant in trusting Sunfyre's portrayal will be everything we are hoping for. But I still hope they will do his beauty justice. And that is what I think we can expect from the dragons in Season 2. Which dragons do you expect we get to see in Season 2? And which one are you most looking forward to? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time.